Now that we've taken a look at Class B airspace, let's look at an example of Class C. As you can see on your screen, I have an example of Class C pulled up. Now, how do I know that Tallahassee International Airport is a Class C airport? It's simple. It is the solid magenta circles that you see. There's an inner circle, which is this one, and then an outer circle. The inner circle actually extends 5 nautical miles out from the center of the airport. The outer circle, the bigger circle, extends from the center of the airport to 10 nautical miles out. Just a little bit of a difference. So you just double that distance. So as you can see, it covers a good amount of airspace. Now look at the numbers. Just like Class B airspace, it has altitudes that show you where the airspace starts and ends at. So surface to 4,100 feet, mean sea level. Again, just add those 2 zeros, just like Class B airspace. You're going to see that with all of these different types of airspaces that we deal with. You just simply add 2 zeros to it. So surface to 4,100 feet, mean sea level. Now we're going to go out to the second layer, the second shelf. 1,400 feet. It's climbed up a little bit. That means that Class C airspace starts at 1,400 feet. It doesn't start at the surface anymore, but it does go up to that same exact number as the inner shelf. 4,100 feet, mean sea level. Again, remember, on these charts, on these VFR sectional charts, you're dealing with mean sea level numbers when it depicts airspace altitudes. Always remember that. So Tallahassee International Airport is a great example of Class C airspace. A couple other things that you need to know about Class C airspace is that, yes, you do have to have authorization to fly in Class C airspace. But let's say that you're inspecting this tower over here in the second shelf. This tower, this one that is showing 407 feet AGL. That's another thing to remember. 427 is a mean sea level number. The one right below it is an AGL number. You will always see your AGL numbers in parentheses. So above ground level. That means that that tower is 407 feet tall. Now notice the difference between this number and this number. That's like a 20-foot difference. Not too bad for a field elevation height. Now when you leave Florida and you go to other states, for example, like Denver, Colorado, you deal with higher altitudes, higher field elevations. You're around mountains. In Florida, it's pretty flat. So 20 feet is not that big of a difference from sea level to the field elevation. That's all this is. The numbers you want to go by, though, is that 407 feet AGL. So if you were doing an inspection on this tower, it's 407 feet tall. On this outer layer, would you, as a remote pilot, be able to fly and inspect this tower without getting approval from ATC at Tallahassee International? You absolutely could. And the reason why that is because you're below that number. You're below that Class C airspace. There's no way you're flying up to 1,400 feet to inspect that tower. You're way below that Class C airspace, which means that you're operating in uncontrolled airspace. You're operating in something known as Class G airspace, which we will talk about later in this course. So you have every right to be here to inspect this tower without getting approval from air traffic control or the FAA. So this is a great example of Class C airspace.